Right now, though, let's say a very good morning to LaDona Harvey, the host of the Kogo San Diego breakfast show. LaDona, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Very
nice to see you. Things are getting heated up there, aren't they? You've only got just over, what, 12 days to go until the big runoff. We're doing a big overnight show, so I'm hoping you might be available for that on November the 5th, if you're around. But let's have a quick look at a couple of clips before we talk. Joe Biden here is talking about Donald Trump, and he says he wants to shoot people.
It's not a joke. This is the guy who also wants to replace every civil servant, every single one. Thinks he has a right under the Supreme Court ruling on immunity to be able, if need be, if it was the case, to actually eliminate, physically eliminate, shoot, kill someone who he believes to be a threat to him. I mean, so I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up. Politically lock him up.
I mean, if you saw a guy like that wandering around the streets, talking like that, I mean, you'd call the cops on him, wouldn't you, and say, look, there's a guy that's in danger of harming himself in some way.
Or possibly just toppling over. Yeah, here's the thing. He's not making any sense. And this is why he had to be replaced on the ballot, because unfortunately, and it happens to all of us, it certainly has happened to my father, we get old and we're not as spry as we once were. And
but he's still the president. That's the bit that worries a lot of us, I think, in Western Europe. I mean, he's still in charge of the Western world.
I think it worries a lot of people in America as well.
Right.
And it had us scared enough that, we've ended up with Kamala Harris on the ballot, and she can't seem to pull the win.
Well, no. I mean, and she's kind of falling away even as we speak. Let's have a look at what she had to say to NBC when she was asked about Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is an extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
You never saw anything like what happened at the debate night behind closed doors with him?
It was a bad debate. People have bad debates. He is absolutely...
But that's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
What do you think?
I am running for president of the United States. Joe Biden is not. And my presidency will be about bringing a new generation of leadership to America that is focused on the work that we need to do to invest in the ambitions and aspirations of the American people.
She's doing it again. You can actually see where the page turns, can't you? You can see where she's gone from, oh, I don't really know how to answer that, so I'll just go, you'd have to ask him. And then suddenly she gets back on track and goes, we're all talking about a new generation of leadership. And you're going, what does it even mean?
Right. It means nothing. It's like the debate with Donald Trump, in which, it was a disastrous debate for Donald Trump. There's no doubt about that. She was able to goad him into all kinds of commentary and got his ire up. What she never did was talk policy.
Right.
She never talked about what she actually is going to do. It's just platitudes for the masses. That, we are about the American people. How?
Yes. But what's interesting, right, is that, the debate didn't go so well for him, but it didn't really matter because he's recovered from that. Whereas in Biden's case, the Biden debate that didn't go well for him led him to leave the race altogether. So he's gone, and it now looks as though the gap is getting slightly bigger. I'm seeing polls this morning suggesting that most of the swing states are now for Trump, albeit it's still pretty close. But there's a bit of movement going on, isn't there?
There is. There's a little bit of movement. If you take a look at the overall polls, she's leading, but it's within the margin of error. So it's about 46 to 43%.
Yeah.
If you look at the battleground states, they are statistically a real toss-up in most cases, although he's leading somewhat in 4 out of 7.
Right.
It's interesting to me, as somebody who's watched politics for a long time. I don't necessarily look forward to what's going to happen after all this mess is done and we've voted, and we have to vote and re-vote, and people have to count and recount because, it's never good enough.
It looks that way, doesn't it? It does look that way.
Exactly. It's just statistically, it is very close, and that she has not been able to pull this out after the disaster that was Joe Biden in that debate is shocking to me.
Yeah,
shocking.
It is, because but she just doesn't seem to have it. Let's have a look at Tim Waltz, though, who is not particularly an asset to her either, I don't think, talking about Elon Musk.
Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dip on these things. You know it. Think about it. Think about that. That guy is literally the richest man in the world, spending millions of dollars to help Donald Trump buy an election.
Well, I mean, everybody buys elections in America, don't they? Isn't that the point? You raise millions and millions of dollars, and then you spend them.
That is very much the point. You spend millions and millions of dollars. Everybody has loads of money. Why do you think that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Tim Waltz keep coming to California? It's not because California matters. California is solidly Democrat. It's because there's money in California and they want it. He who has the most donors generally at least has a shot at the big chair. And you don't do this by trying to appeal to people's better natures or saying, we're not spending billionaire money. You're all spending billionaire money.
Of course they are. That's just the whole way the system works. LaDona, listen, we've got to run. We're coming up against the time clock. Thank you very much indeed. We'll see you soon. LaDona Harvey there, host of KOGO in San Diego.